So let's talk about Marathon. Bungie is making another Marathon game, and I can't be more excited. I think maybe I could. I know a lot of people are upset that this is not a single-player, story-driven game like they expected a sequel to the famous Marathon to be, but I am gleefully excited and very hopeful for the game and for the series' future. I am a big Marathon fan. I've played Marathon since I was 5 years old. The original Marathon came out in 1994, and it was a Macintosh exclusive game at the time. It was very popular in Mac circles, which kind of automatically makes it a cult classic in that sense. Marathon was a game that was what you would probably call at the time a Doom clone. All the stories were through text from terminals that these AI would be speaking to you. Sometimes other people would be speaking to you. And you would go around fighting aliens and occasionally solving some button puzzles and walking through labyrinths that for some reason are in a spaceship. It didn't really make much sense, but it was the game that I had and the game that I played and loved for hours and hours. Both the single player and the net games, the multiplayer where you could have up to 8 players fighting each other on teams or solos. You could also do 8-player co-op through the story mode, which was hilarious. Marathon is so near and dear to my heart, and I'm so very excited that in some form it's coming back. Marathon to me means a lot. It's a comfort game. It's something that makes me happy, and it's something that makes me think about the future, about science fiction, about artificial intelligence, AI, all these different things that could be in our future. And when I saw this trailer, I was extremely excited. I actually got very somber. My wife was like, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Marathon is back. It's coming back." And watching the trailer, I was taken aback at how unique this looks because, Marathon never had anything more than, very simple textures and a 2.5D engine, It was a very simple game. But bringing it to now, to the technology of now, I was taken aback and I said, you know what, this is actually very Marathon. A lot of people don't think this will be Marathon, but aesthetically, this is Marathon. The look of the technology, the colors that are used, the computer graphics, and just the terminals and everything that you can see here looks like a Marathon game brought to, current standards. I think one thing that also hits really well is only the original Marathon had music in-game. Marathon 2 Durandal and Marathon Infinity actually had intro music, but they didn't have music that played during the game. It was actually just ambient sounds. But the music here in this trailer sounds a lot like the music from the first game. I need a return of the Power of 7. I need those songs. And honestly, the intro music to 2 and Infinity were very good songs, and I would love to hear those in the game somewhere, and I would love to see some things come back. I know there'll be references galore. This is Bungie after all. When I heard way before this that there were rumors of Marathon coming back, I thought, okay, that's possible. And they said, it's going to be a PvP extraction-based shooter. And I said, wow, that's weird. Maybe I could see some ways of them doing it. And I think this is kind of the thing I suggested, which was, people running around the Tau Ceti colony trying to, get resources and survive and things like that. It's definitely taking a different turn. I won't go deeply into, lore or story or any of that sort of stuff right now. Definitely plan on making more videos about this sort of thing. Looking at just how this looks, the time period. It looks like this is going to take place after the first game, probably after the second as well, but maybe somewhere during as well. But my point being is that this game looks to be trying to expand the story, but from a different angle. And I think them doing an extraction-based shooter could definitely do that in a lot of interesting ways. I'm curious to see how it goes. Obviously, the majority of the people who worked on Marathon are probably not working on this Marathon, which breaks my heart a little bit. But at the same time, it sounds like they want to do Marathon justice as best they can while trying to do a live service game, which is what they're used to now. It's been, over a decade of Destiny and Destiny 2, and, God bless them, Bungie, they have done their best and their damnedest to keep Destiny and Destiny 2 alive, and they've done it, I would say. My friends love Destiny and Destiny 2. I can never fully get into it, but I would like to look at the details where they mention Marathon and Halo and the other games, just in the flavor text and other things. But they've had a good track record, I would say. When things go wrong, they fix it, and I think they've done a great job with rolling out content, so I'm hopeful for that aspect, and The gameplay that they usually provide is pretty solid, and so I know the big thing that people are probably thinking about, as long as the gameplay is good, the only other thing to really worry about, and as long as you're not a story buff, I guess, the main other thing to worry about is cheaters. Cheaters can definitely be the make or break for games like this, especially because it's, in a sense, it's a permadeath, you know? You're losing your kit, you're losing your items, and in this, I guess it's, you know, artifacts, alien artifacts. And if you lose those things to a cheater, obviously that feels disgusting because, you know, you put in a lot of hard work and you can't get that back because of said cheater. And this has ended games like the Cycle Frontier. Well, the Cycle Frontier is still going on, and I enjoyed it. It was definitely a plague on that game, all the cheaters and the problems that they had, and so it definitely lowered the player count. But I know Bungie does a good job, and so I'm excited to see where this game goes. And to anyone who is a fan of the original series, someone like myself who loves Marathon, loves the story, and PvP might not be your thing, give it a shot. At least give it a look, give it a go. I don't know what the pricing model is going to be. It's probably just going to be a full price game, I imagine. I can't imagine they're going to do a free to play for this, at least not initially. But the vibe is Marathon. This game looks to be Marathon. The aspects of it, the ship within the moon essentially is very, very Marathon. Obviously that's not the Marathon, but that is a Marathon kind of ship, you know. For anyone who doesn't know, the original game, you were on a colony ship known as the Marathon, and it was built into a hollowed out moon, the colony ship. And so they're doing a service to the story and the lore, and I think we're definitely going to see a lot of interesting things. I don't know that it will be anything super duper groundbreaking, if you want my honesty. And I use super duper as a scientific term here, just because in today's age we kind of have a lot of video games that seek to do more lore than they do story, and I feel like that's where Destiny falls, and I'm scared that the new Marathon will fall in that sense to this sort of storytelling where you are scraping by with every little detail to find something that is interesting or new and unique, but for the most part it's just, you know, flavor and interesting things about the universe. I imagine there will be an overarching thing that will be a bit bigger, but we'll have to see, and I plan to do more videos on this game and everything we see in the trailers. It sounds like Bungie for now are going silent. They're not going to say anything until they are done with their early alpha, their closed alpha, and once they have got some gameplay that's ready to show to us and they're closer to release, that's probably when they're going to start talking more seriously about it again. But until then, it sounds like they're going to be really, really reserved. So I want to know what everybody else thinks about this. I'm really excited, diehard fan, and I've always wanted to see Marathon come back, and I'm not disappointed. I'm not elated. I'd almost wish we kind of had a Marathon remake like Doom 2016. That would be great to see for our beloved security officer, the main character of the game, but we'll see a lot, I'm sure. I know we're probably going to get some AI characters probably, and, you know, there's got to be stores or people to talk to, so I'm sure there's going to be a few different characters here and there. We'll see something happen, but I hope it's good, and I hope it really does pay proper honor and homage to Marathon and Marathon 2, and hopefully a little bit of Marathon Infinity. We might see some of that in there as well. That's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will be back with more info and news about Marathon. I think I'm going to be doing some deep dives into the lore again. It's been a minute since I've refreshed my books on Marathon and get my gameplays out and talk about how this game is going to unfold and probably what we can see in the future. Thanks. It's real good in the story, which I don't want that.
Wow. It actually didn't end. Oh my god. What the hell is this?
Murder.
Oh man. I don't want to. You know what? Fight fire with fire. Get back here, asshole.
I can't see anything. I feel blind. All I see is white hot rage and barbecue.
Who has that now?
Me. It's just me.
Good.
I'm so sorry. It's so good though.